today on the CTV News at 5. Get your napkins ready. Tabor corn is here. Plus, flood victims' homes are being looted. And
it will be really exciting because I really want to be in the movie.
Southern Albertans try out for the big screen.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. The wait is over for a Southern Alberta staple. Tabor corn is out, and it's one of the best crops in years. But there could be a shortage of sweet cobs this season after hail pounded crops earlier this month. David Jensen's Tabor corn went on sale today in Lethbridge. Although some of his fields were damaged by hailstorms, most were spared. Jensen says that all of the Tabor corn growers have been hit by the storms, and in some cases it could cause delayed harvest where corn isn't available for a few days. The retirement of a major corn grower in Tabor is also expected to add to the shortage. But what makes these golden ears so desirable?
Well, it's fresh, and it's from Tabor, and every morning at 4 o'clock or earlier we're picking it, and it comes right here. So in a few hours you have fresh Tabor corn, especially when it's this close to Tabor, which is an advantage, I guess, to live close to Tabor during corn season.
Jensen says fresh corn should be available even as far as Calgary by the weekend. Well, thankfully, the Tabor corn is a bright start to the week, Dory, because weather-wise, ooh.
Yeah, you know, we're going to get a fair amount of sunshine after we get past today. We're already seeing some scattered showers in the Lethbridge area, and that'll continue through southern Alberta overnight tonight in southeastern BC. But we are expecting the sunshine to break through. So temperatures slightly below average for the next several days, but it'll be mostly sunny, so it'll feel warmer than that. I'll have all the details in a couple of minutes.
Always the glass is half full, girl.
You betcha.
Thank you, Dory. Well, flood victims in High River say it's adding insult to injury. While they're trying to clean up their property, others are robbing it. RCMP say looters are hitting the community with copper pipe and wire at the top of their wish list. Police say a condo manager spotted a man stealing from one of his units. The man claimed he was hired to remediate the home, but then took off when he was asked for ID. Police say nobody should be helping themselves to anything, even if it's on the street.
Stuff that is seen lying around on the streets or even in dumpsters is not for public use at this point. This is not a classic situation of somebody leaves their garbage on the sidewalk and you walk along and pick up something you like. This is a situation of a recovery effort, and the public is not to be going around picking up something they think that is something that they can use without permission of the people that own the property.
RCMP say people working for Trevita, the company hired by the province to clean up, should have ID, and they should be able to provide it if asked. A second man has been sentenced to jail in the deadly beating of a Lethbridge man last summer. The body of 47-year-old Michael Powell was discovered in an apartment in South Lethbridge in July. In court, the Crown said Powell was attacked after being accused of being a pedophile. He was punched numerous times and kicked in the face and body. 2 men were arrested in connection with his death. 28-year-old Brandon James Brown has pleaded guilty to manslaughter and been sentenced to 4 years in prison. Brown was given credit for 18 months served in pretrial custody. That leaves him with a 2.5-year sentence to serve out. Meanwhile, 26-year-old Kelsey Prairie Chicken also had pleaded guilty to the manslaughter case. He was given a 6-year jail term. A Lethbridge pharmacist has pleaded guilty to fraud after $1,500 worth of prescription painkillers was stolen from the pharmacy he managed. 50-year-old Marvin Johnson of Raymond ran Lethbridge's Fairway Plaza Safeway. He was charged in June after police received reports of inventory discrepancies. Police say Johnson created fake computer records and stole hydromorph cotton for personal use. They believe the theft had been going on for 4 months. Johnson was fired as manager of the pharmacy. He was originally charged with fraud, theft, and possession of drugs. A pre-sentence report is expected to be presented in court in September. The case of a Blood Reserve school bus driver charged with being drunk while behind the wheel of his bus was back before a Cardston court today. Larry Crosschild was charged with impaired driving and refusing to provide a breath sample in early June when Blood Tribe police arrested a man after a tip about a possible impaired driver. There were 12 kids on the school bus at the time. The case has been set over to August the 12th when Crosschild is expected to enter a plea. Crime Stoppers will be in Brooks tomorrow reenacting an assault. Last September, 2 women were catching a taxi home when they saw a man being picked on by 2 other men near the 7-Eleven, so they offered the guy a ride home. After the taxi driver drove past the man's home, a fight ensued, with the man punching one of the women in the face, in the mouth actually, and the other was extensively injured as well. If you have any information, you're urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Well, police say the man who smashed a truck into the Calgary courthouse this morning did it on purpose. The driver is now in custody after crashing into the courthouse doors around 3:30 this morning. No one was hurt. So far, there's no word on a motive. Alcohol is not believed to be a factor. Police are continuing to question the driver and say charges are pending. A main bus route in the south of Lethbridge is getting a facelift. Streets between Fairmont Gate South and Fairway Street South are being stripped of its old pavement to make way for a smoother route. The boulevard will be closed today so workers can complete the refinishing. The new pavement will reduce road noise and provide a smooth surface for buses and local traffic. The city says the construction is needed because the route is showing signs of wear.
We've received 4 or 5 different requests on this area about the vibration from the buses, and we had to come up with a strategy to fix it, and this seemed to be the most efficient and cost-effective strategy we could use to reduce that.
The boulevard will reopen tomorrow morning to all traffic. 15 of the country's largest travel visa distributors are currently on strike over a contract dispute, and that's bad news for the tourism industry as well as other organizations. The University of Lethbridge is one of those groups that could be hit hard if the two sides can't find some middle ground. 100 students currently have open applications for the U of L and are awaiting travel visa approvals. Now, if the strike continues, many of those students won't be able to attend the university because without a valid visa, the U of L can't accept them.
So we still have quite a few students that do not have their visas as of yet for the September start. We're hoping this strike action will end fairly quickly so that they can get their visas on time to start in September.
Students may have to defer to the spring semester if the strike can't be resolved in time for the application deadline in August. More than 27,000 Canadians served in the Korean War, which ended 60 years ago. Over the weekend, those veterans were honored. A commemorative ceremony held by the Korean Veteran Association marked the 60th anniversary of the signing of the armistice, the official end to the Korean War. 516 Canadian soldiers made the ultimate sacrifice during a 3-year war in Korea. It's often referred to as the Forgotten War, but members of the Korea Veterans Association says it deserves more recognition.
I think we can be very grateful, and other people should be grateful for what we've done going over there. The only final comment I would make, it's amazing how often there's not much advertising from Ottawa on about Koreans going or soldiers going to Korea, and that's unfortunate.
An additional 44 Canadian soldiers also lost their lives in peacekeeping missions in Korea shortly after the war officially ended. It's called George's Ride, named after the 2-time prostate cancer survivor whose passion for motorcycles inspired a fundraiser for the Jack 80 Cancer Center. Around 50 motorcyclists trekked over 250 kilometers to Waterton and back, bringing awareness to men about prostate cancer. Survivor George Hufnagel started the event last year. It raised over $86,000 for equipment and patient resources for the Jack 80 Cancer Center. Hufnagel credits the facilities and staff for his recovery.
I think that if it wasn't for the facilities that are available to cancer patients here in Lethbridge, the treatment opportunities wouldn't be quite as smooth. The staff at the Jack 80 Center are exceptional, and whatever the radiation treatments do for the patient, the staff takes that and augments it many times over just by how their kindness and how they treat individuals.
This year's event featured a pancake breakfast, dinner, dance, and a silent auction. Well, those with their eye on Tinseltown had an opportunity to participate in an open casting call for a major motion picture.
Really exciting because I really want to be in the movie.
Hundreds came in all shapes, sizes, and ages with hopes to be part of Christopher Nolan's next sci-fi movie, Interstellar. It's being slated for filming in the Lethbridge area next month. Unconfirmed rumors say the film, starring Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway, concentrates on a group of explorers who travel through a wormhole. Participants say they're excited to have the opportunity to be on the big screen, even if it's only for a brief second.
It'll be fun just to kind of get in there and, even be part of something that you go to the movies every Friday night to see on the big screen, right? So it'd be cool to sit there and have that, oh, hey, yeah, that was me for 2 seconds there.
It'd be awesome if it was a zombie apocalypse movie, of course, but aliens are just as good.
Probably good for the economy. This area is great for locations as far as geography is concerned.
I've never been exposed to anything like this, so it's would be interesting to see how things work.
When it comes to media, I don't think we've tapped into the potential of this city. And, especially with like the new things like YouTube and everything, but even these more traditional films and stuff, I think there's a lot of potential for this area and also for the people here.
Motion Pictures Passchendaele and Brokeback Mountain have used Lethbridge and southern Alberta and its surrounding areas as filming destinations in the past. Time now for a look at the day's markets.